So last week we talked about some of the roommate problems we were having. How did we go this week?
Well, when you told me to confront her, I like tried to, and like she kind of just ignored me and was like, "I'm gonna keep going to my boyfriend's room. I don't feel like dealing with you." And like I was just really upset because like we used to have a close relationship in like the beginning of the year, and now I feel like second semester is so different, and like I feel like we don't get along as much, and I never really get to see her. Like I guess like having my alone time is good, but like I never see her, and like I go to sleep and I wake up alone, and I get like a lonely feeling, and like I feel like to get me through college and being away from home, it's like I need a friend. And like I used to consider her my sister, and now it's like hard to deal with her not being with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been hard, but I tried to confront her and it didn't go that well.
So what did you say when you confronted her?
So I started the conversation saying like, oh, like, you know, like I'm really happy that you and your boyfriend are going out. I'm really like proud of you because like she's been through a breakup with her ex, and like she would cry every night getting over him, and like he was just really like mean to her. So I like said, oh, I'm happy for you and everything, but like I'm wondering like why you're never in the room. Like, is it something I did? Like, I get you want to see him, but like, is it something that like was I mean to you? And she was like, no, like you weren't mean to me or anything. I was like, okay, so like why are you like not in the room anymore? And she was like, oh, I just like spending time with my boyfriend. Like, you say you're happy for me, but you clearly like don't like the fact that I'm hanging out with him. And like it started an even bigger argument because I was like, no, like I want you to be with him, but like you have to understand you have a roommate, and like I'm always by myself, and like I've been making friends outside my room and everything, but like then she gets mad at me and she's like, oh, but you're making other friends, so you're fine. I'm like, but I miss you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
you want that relationship with her, and you're happy for her that she's broadening horizons and getting back out there, but she needs to find a balance between her boyfriend and you because you have that relationship that you want to prolong.
yeah, exactly. And like I feel like he's kind of winning in a sense because like he always is with her, and like I'll see him walking around campus and I'm just like, oh, okay, like do I even say hi? Like I don't even know how to like approach it.
Yeah, so maybe you can try and find that common ground and maybe get together, the three of you, and figure out maybe there's times where you can hang out together and
Yeah.
do things as a group, and so it's not so individualized, and that way her time can be spent with the both of you. That's always a possibility.
Yeah, like I always like kind of said stuff to her like, oh, like we can go out all together for dinner or lunch or something. Like completely not minding that I'm third wheeling or anything,
Right.
but like I tried to like bring it up to her, and like she just gets mad. She's like, oh, like you clearly aren't rooming with me next year because like I'm a horrible roommate. I'm never in the room. I was like, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
Like,
So she's kind of changing your words, and that causes
yeah,
an issue in itself.
yeah.
How long have you been roommates?
Well, I'd say, how long is this semester? 4 months?
So just this year?
Just this year. I've known her in high school, but we were never close.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to know her, and like
Right.
we had like the same personalities and everything. And I guess like we're kind of spreading apart. I don't know.
Yeah. That's sad because you want that decent bond with a roommate, and it's hard because there's this ideal about a roommate, and that you're always inseparable and best friends, but that's not always the case. But you have to be able to coexist and live together in a reasonable like idea of
Yeah. Like I mean, like first semester everything was like perfect. I feel like, and I feel like everything kind of just fell apart. Like I used to consider, like I said, I used to consider my sister. We were so close, and like it kind of just fell apart.
Was she dating the guy?
No, that's the thing. So I don't know if it's him like brainwashing her, or changing our relationship. But and like I even question sometimes. I'm like, do I want her to be my roommate? Because like there is like other issues in the dorm. Like not to sound like selfish or anything, but like she will like eat my food, and like every time we have like a Brita pitcher, and every time I fill it up, like I drink the water, and like sometimes if it's empty, she'll get frustrated and look at it and see it's empty and won't fill it up, and I'm like, it's for both of us.
Yeah, that's very frustrating.
It's frustrating. So like yeah, at times I want to be her roommate, and like I feel like we were so close, but like at other times I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as you want that wonderful, perfect relationship. That's not always realistic. So at least for the time being, you have to find a way to coexist and live together as best as possible.
Mhm.
But maybe living together isn't the best thing for your friendship, and maybe that space can give you the better relationship that you may be looking for.
Yeah. Like, I have talked to my friends about it, and they said the same thing. They were like, oh, I don't know if, like, you would want to still stay with her, because, like, just to respect your relationship, and, like, since you guys are, like, kind of frustrated with each other already, you should, like, spread out, and, like, and I'm, like, getting, like, worried, because, like, rooming, like, scheduling, everything is, like, coming up soon, so it's a little nerve-wracking.
Right, and that's stressful in itself, is trying to figure that out, because you want to be in an environment that's comfortable, and, I know doing your homework and getting all that stuff accomplished happens a lot in your dorm, and you don't want to be in this awkward, anxious environment
Mhm.
when you have to focus on school, and you want to have a good time and be enjoyable. You don't want to be miserable where you live.
Yeah, and, like, that's another thing, like, it sometimes is hard to do my homework, like, when she is in the room, it's, like, usually that's when her, like, she wants to relax and everything, and she'll, like, blast the TV, or, like, she'll play music out loud, and I'm like, can you please use your headphones, and then we start an argument, but, like, just, like, respecting, like, my boundaries,
Right.
and, like, me focusing on school and, like, what I need to do.
Right. There needs to be some sort of common ground, and you need to have that discussion with her. Maybe that's something you can do for next week, and kind of talk about the issues that you have, and see if maybe she's got similar issues, and then you can kind of figure out what can be done to help the situation and make it a little more manageable.
Yeah, like, I definitely want to confront her about that. Like, I know I confronted her about the whole boyfriend situation, but confronting her about, like, the food and the water, and, like, just, like, sharing certain things,
Right.
and, like, being quiet. I just have to talk to her about that. So.
And you want to make sure it's not in, like, a threatening,
Yeah.
calling her out. But at the same time, you want her to know that this is really bothering you and you're really having a problem with this. So it has to be something that needs to be talked about. And I know it's not easy always to bring up, because who likes confrontation?
Yeah.
But it's something that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Especially because there still is, a month or so left of school, and you don't want that to be,
Yeah. That's, like, my
driving
biggest
apart.
fear. I don't want it to be, like, awkward after that.
Right.
So I'm, like, trying to, like, slowly confront her, but I'm, like, nervous.
Yeah. So you need to make sure you know, like, when you start the conversation, be like, I don't want this to seem, aggressive in any way. I want us to be friends, and I want us to, live, if that's what you want, if you want to live together, you have to let her know that, but you need to explain, the concerns you have, and let her know how you feel, so that you can better communicate that together.
It's still, like, a decision I have to make, and, like, think things through.
Right.
Maybe confront her, and that'll affect my decision overall.
Yeah, because that's important. You have to know what you want to do. And if rooming together doesn't seem like the best idea, then you don't want to do anything that's gonna, again, make the next year even more miserable.
And, like, I even have a scholarship that I'm trying to keep up, like, with my GPA and everything, and, like, I don't want my roommate to, like, jeopardize that at all.
Definitely. You come here to a school, and that's got to be the priority. So if that is going to be a factor in lessening your education or jeopardizing that scholarship, you don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
So before, our meeting today, I had you fill out this patient health questionnaire, and I noticed that you have some sleep issues. So you said you had nearly every day trouble falling asleep and staying asleep. Do you think that's because of, the stress and the anxiety of the situation, or do you think it's more, is it something she does that prevents you from getting a good night's sleep?
I believe it's a little bit of both, because, yes, I do stress over it, and, like, I want us to, again, be close, and I want us to be roommates, but maybe that's not the best choice. And also, like, sometimes, well, I know that when I grew up, like, I never had TV in my room, so I never, like, was used to falling asleep to, like, cartoons in the background or anything like that, and I was usually used to silence. And she can, like, fall asleep with the TV on, like, blasting, and I cannot do that. So it's kind of hard for me, because I go to sleep early, because I have early classes, and she kind of has later classes, and I just want to, like, get a good night's sleep and not be tired throughout my day, and, like, the TV will be blasting, and I cannot fall asleep.
Right, and that's a problem. I mean, even just, I like things very quiet, so I'm sure having that on is impossible.
Yeah.
Especially if you have class the next day. That's something that, could really, be a detriment, especially if you have a test or something. You need that good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So you also say that you feel tired and having little energy, and, you want to be well rested and, you know, having that, whether it's the TV or the anxiety itself, that's something that needs to be addressed because, you know, sleep loss and always feeling so fatigued is, you know, a real detriment to your health and mental health and physical health.
Yeah, definitely.
You also say that you have trouble concentrating on things. Do you think that's related to the lack of sleep, or do you think your mind is just trying to figure out this roommate issue?
I think it's the roommate issue. Yeah, I think it's both, but I think it's mostly figuring out the roommate issue because it is really stressful, and like I do want to have like a good time next year and not have to worry about like roommate situations and like because I already have enough to stress about with my scholarship and everything. So I just want it to like flow together nicely, and I just want to be happy with what I make, the choice I make next year.
Yeah, and you know, you're saying that, you know, you want that good relationship, but you also want to do well in school and, you know, be comfortable. So, you know, it's time, I think, to figure out if maybe rooming together isn't the best for you. Because as much as you want that relationship to work, you have to figure out what's best for you and for school and, you know, long term what's going to be the best for you. So I think, you know, this week it would be a good idea to confront her about those issues, whether it's, you know, the food or the bread or the sleep schedule. You know, there's got to be some common ground, some type of compromise that you can make to figure out, you know, what's best for the rest of the month, and then, you know, you personally can just kind of figure out what you're thinking for next year, and, you know, what would be best for you and school-wise.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like kind of dreading confronting her, but I know it has to get done and everything. So
yeah. So next week, this week, talk to her, see what she says. You know, non-threatening, of course, but you know, your concerns need to be voiced. She needs to hear that. And then next week we can talk about what happened, and then go from there.